Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron, I hope you're having a great day or night in Jesus. Is a fetus a fish in its mother's womb? So let's take a look at this. I think you might be surprised, maybe not. Many of you probably know this. But thanks for being here. Join us daily. Share with your friends, family, church family. We know the science of fetology really didn't start in earnest till 1976 with the development of ultrasound. What an amazing technology that is. So we're going to use kind of as our discussion starter book, Creation versus Evolution by Dr. Arlo Molenpaugh. And so he goes into this. Jonathan Wells and Icons of Evolution really goes into this as well. So here, what does ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny means? I know teaching science in the Bible, I always love talking about ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny because I'll make jokes about ontogeny, But anyhow, it really means that in the womb, from the earliest stages till it grows, to full gestation, that the fetus was thought at one time to go through each stage of the evolutionary development that we went through, like fish and all of this, tadpoles, and this would be the whole phylus that we were going through. So let's just take a look at what Dr. Molenpaugh has to say about this. So this theory was popularized in 1866 by Ernest Haeckel, a German atheist. Now, the thing is, photography existed then, but not like ultrasound. So he actually exaggerated the pictures. And for 140 plus years, this was used in many science textbooks with people not noticing the exaggeration. So his idea spread widely with the pleasant sounding slogan, ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny, which means the biological development of an individual. Ontogeny repeats briefly, recapitulates the evolutionary development of the individual. Phylogeny. This theory speculates that in the development of the human embryo, it passes through the evolutionary stages, such as protozoa to worm to fish to amphibian to mammal then to human. For over 100 years, evolutionists use this notion as one of the main proofs of evolution. The human embryo actually does not have gills, but rather folds of tissue that develops in the parts of the tongue, lower jaw, and neck. I remember when I was talking to a very, very smart individual, videos on YouTube, conversations with the great minds, considered a very smart guy, and he was like, no, he was just convinced that babies had gill slits, because he was taught this. He's quite a bit older than I am. So what can be said about the drawings Haeckel made concerning embryos? So Haeckel made a series of diagrams of different embryos and demonstrated that they had certain characteristics in common. Haeckel later admitted that some of his drawings had been intentionally changed to make them fit the theory he was trying to prove. How about that? And that is in Ken Ham's The Smartest Man in America Back to Genesis article, December 1992. So Haeckel was a rogue, which that's in Henry Morris's Scientific Creationism. If a student looked at the actual embryos instead of the diagrams, he would see more differences than the diagrams show. So now, are there other evidences that falsifies the recapitulation theory? Well, let's see. Modern studies in molecular genetics have shown that the DNA for a man is not the DNA for a fish. The DNA for each kind is uniquely programmed to produce its own kind, just as Genesis 1 and 1 Corinthians 15:39 says. Embryological studies have shown that there are many omissions, additions, and inversions compared to the few parallels in the supposed evolutionary sequence. So, yeah, it just couldn't have happened. So, how has the recapitulation theory been used as pseudoscientific justification for the plague of abortionism? Because they're saying it's not really a life, that it is a fish, it's something else. So, he goes into some other devastating effects of evolution. He would say suicide, communism, racism, and Nazism, destruction of faith, gross immorality. I've actually got a book, I think behind me somewhere. It's written by an atheist, and it's like, if there is no God, is everything allowed? And that's kind of the, the categorical imperative. What does the most good for the most people? Well, see, the bad thing about that, what if the most good for the most people is some Malthusian killing of 2/3 of humanity, and the 1/3 can thrive or something, or 51%. It's like democracy. Well, I don't want myself to be subject to the whims of 50 plus 1. I have rights inalienable that come from God. So no, in the womb, you don't pass through all the evolutionary stages. God bless. Check out our other videos. Join us daily. Share with your friends. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.